You need the acrylic paint, and the white is the most important for the one stroke on parchment. I had questioned before why Pintura white doesn't work. Because Pintura is quite transparent, but Pintura is made for parchment, so it doesn't contain too much water. So you don't be afraid to use more paint in your brush to do this technique. If you use too little paint, just like what we used to do, painting on parchment, we really didn't need a lot of paint then. But with this technique, you need more than usual. So experiment, how much and how little you load your brush, and see, even you had too much, it never hurt parchment really. At the end, embossing will stabilize your parchment for you. So most of the time after you paint it, the parchment will curl upward on the side, and because it's too wet at the area we painted. But then after embossing has been done, which you need very little embossing, in some area only, not, totally emboss the whole flower. And then it will bring back, it will stabilize the parchment for you. So it doesn't, it didn't feel like it buckled up or, wavy after you finished. So you can see mine, I did a little bit of embossing after. Okay, and probably you have question. If not, because the pattern and then the finished product, the finished card, it's reversed. I think I did this one after I have done, I did this one and then I painted this one for the left-hand person to see if they use the pattern reversed, flip the pattern, then you get this look. Okay. And you can see on this one, this is the same turning with the pattern. Okay, in this design, you will need only 2 different strokes, which is the comma stroke and this one comma stroke using the round brush, and then the zigzag stroke using the flat brush. So I'm going to demonstrate, only these 2 strokes. Even with this comma stroke, you can do so much with, with the stroke. If you master, this stroke, let me show you this one here. This is the all comma strokes. You can do tons really. This is just tiny comma strokes and put them in bunches. I think this is lavender if I'm not wrong. And then this is also, oh no, not this one, sorry. And this one is also the round brush, using tiny comma stroke. And this one also comma strokes. And what else can we do? Like this one here, this one is not comma stroke, but it's the round brush, which, I'll show you a little bit on this one if we have time. Okay, so let me put this one back. Okay, let me explain from here first. You can see probably 3 levels of the same color. The first one is nothing else but that basic color, no mixing with any other color. And then as you step up, forward, then added a little white, like all these things here. And then the most white is in the front petals. So those are, adding more white. So you after you've done this, it gives you dimension automatically. It's just like the darkest petals in the back, and then, you know, lighter color petals are in the middle, and then the whitest petals are toward the front. So in the pattern here that I given you, okay, I have numbers. I have numbers in them. Number 1, number 2, number 3. So meaning that in one stroke, there's always order of painting. So if you want the petals to stay in the back or stay behind, you have to paint those petals first. And the petal that stay in the front, those are the one that you painted last. So as you can see, this one is in the back, in the middle, and then on top. So the order is 1, 2, and then 3. Same with every flowers in here. Okay, so you probably have to keep flipping if you lost the number along the way, because sometimes some petals are overlapping, so no problem. We can just, you know, flip it open and look at the numbers. I have over here the step by step. Okay, this is the number 1 in the pattern that is painted first. So the color is just take it one color only and just put the stroke. Even they went over the other strokes, don't worry. Okay, so and then when you see number 2, that's when you start, you know, adding white to your brush, and then start, you know, overlapping those strokes. So I mean, if even you come to this point and you found that you want more strokes in the back, you still can do, you can add the strokes in the back, and then just if happen that you want that stroke over there and then it comes on top of this one here, you can just go ahead and do it, and then repaint those 2 strokes, you know, on top. Then the back stroke will stay in the back. But if you don't repaint these 2, that stroke will come to the front, which is, if the color is wrong, then it look a bit awkward. But it's not wrong, you know, you can do it. And then this one, I just took it off the pattern and then just leave it as, you know, as is like that. So that is number 1 and number 2 strokes. And then last is number 3 strokes. So all those whitest petals go on top. So that should be simple, right? Okay, so let's go. In the pattern, I didn't give you the strokes to practice, but I draw some over here. Maybe you can draw it yourself, you know, if you want to. The stroke that we need to practice is the comma stroke. There's a left and right curve comma stroke, and then just a teardrop stroke in here that we need. And then here you can do a comma stroke also, but you know, it's just the difference is that the tip is pointed and this one is round tip. The way we hold the brush, I can say that it's only like you just stand up the brush. You will hear me say stand up the brush, sit down the brush. So meaning when you sit down, the whole brush is down on the paper. And then when start dragging, and then you will stand up the brush to finish. So the pressure that you put on the brush, that will make the stroke wider or narrower. And the paint also makes a difference. If you didn't have enough paint in your brush, then you cannot you cannot try to, how to say, you cannot open the brush to make wider stroke. So it's matter of practicing to start with. Okay, this is beginning and this is the end. So when you start, you should hold the brush vertically. If you lay the brush down, it's very difficult to come to the point at the end. So always hold the brush vertically. Okay, and then put the brush down with the tip to start, and then press down, sit down the brush until it's open to the width that you want, and then start dragging and release the pressure as you want it to become pointed at the end, and finish at the tip of the brush. So that's the only thing that you have to do. Press and then lift at the end. It's almost like embossing, I guess. Press and then curve, release the pressure as you want it to become, narrower, and then finish at the tip. Okay. Some of you can handle holding the brush horizontally. I cannot. I mean, I can start, but to finish, it's very difficult to finish at the tip with the fine point. So I always hold the brush upright. Okay, so you do right, and then you do left. Find the angle of yourself. Sometimes you can draw straight down. If you can, then you do it that way. For me, I like to turn angle the strokes about 45 degree. And then what else do I have to say? Even the teardrop is the same. You hold the brush, put your tiny at the end of the stroke, not at the beginning, because when you put at the beginning, you push the stroke into under your hand, so it's not comfortable, and you can be too shaky also. So I put my tiny about at the end there. You can see how far, and then just stretch the finger out, and then put it down, and then pull the stroke, and then lift at the end. Okay, so let's get the paint. I'm using paper palette because I bought from Pergamano a long time ago, and I still have many of them, and they work okay. But if you want to buy paper palette, maybe buy a bigger size. They have in many different sizes. A4 is already big enough. Okay, wash the brush. The way you load the brush, just pick it up and then come outside, and then side by side wiggle. Do not turn your brush this way. You know why? Because when we want to open the brush to get the point, the rounded head like that, it's difficult because the hairs all twisted. So you just wiggle and then just come to the point, only like halfway turn, not too much turn. Okay, I'm gonna pick up some more. Like I said, if not enough paint, it's the brush will not open. So I'm putting this one here, and then hold the brush upright. The tiny is at the end, and then start putting it down, and then push the whole bristle down. You see, it cannot open as much as I want to, simply because the paint is not enough. And then I'm start dragging, and then release the pressure, and then finish at the tip of the brush. Okay, so I'm gonna add a bit more paint to see, if I can open the brush more than that. So I go on the left side here, pressure down, and then wait until the brush open, and then I start dragging, and then finish at the tip. Okay, that should be easy, right? It's the precision of the hand that you have to be you have to consider, because if you put it too close to the stroke, then when you try to finish your stroke, it just comes too close to your hand, to your fingers, that you cannot like push it under your hand. So the hand should be a bit further away from the end of the stroke. Okay, I'm gonna try this one here. Push it down, wait until the stroke open. If not, you can shake a little bit, but it will be a bit shaky. See, I'm not used to this angle making the stroke. That's why it's a bit awkward for me. So I'm gonna turn it a bit sideways, like that, a bit sideways for me, and then reload. Every stroke you should reload. Now this one is smoother. So if your stroke come out, you know, shaky or whatever, meaning either your hand is not in the right position or the angle of approach, you know, is not right for you. So I cannot tell you, you know, which angle really, but for me, I have tried and then, you know, practice until I find my angle of approach. And then with the teardrop, just push it down and then lift it up straight and make the point. Okay, so the loading is the same way. I just pick the paint and then just half turn only. You notice if you twist too much, the hair will not open for you. Okay, so all this is composed of these two strokes. Sorry, these two strokes and then one last one in the center there for every flower. You can see these are short ones and then these are long ones. So you have to be able to drag the stroke until it comes to the ending point. Okay, now this is no white. So to pick up white, again I reload and then just pick up on the tip and then just tap on the palette a couple times, you know, and then we'll see if that one too much or too little. Okay, so I think that is for the second, for number 2, I will pick up that much. And then if I'm going to try number 3, I don't have to wash the brush really, just wipe on the paper towel and then pick up the paint. I know this is scary, that pick up to a lot of paint is scary for us because we are used to pick up so little. So I'm gonna do the third, the number 3. Still not that much more, but I know next time I'll pick up more. Okay, so that is those strokes that we'll be doing in here. Okay, I'm gonna wash the brush first and then reload with more paint. Okay, number 1, we'll start there. When you see even part of number 1, but you will paint as a whole, don't try to squeeze into number 1 because every stroke will come to the center of the flower, which is where the calyx, is that what it is there. So every petal come here. So you will paint as whole, not part. Okay, so I'm turning my project at the angle. Okay, we're gonna go with number 1. So load only one color. So I'll start here. Number 1 here. I can do 2 flowers at the same time and then we'll come to this one last. So I'm turning, so the petal is in this angle. Down and then push and then make the curve come meet at the calyx. Okay. Reload every stroke. Then I'm gonna try this one here, number 1 here. So I'm turning this way, down and then curve the stroke. Your stroke is fat or slim, it really doesn't matter. You just get different flower to finish. Okay, number 1 here and then bring the stroke where it should meet. Okay, then this one, number 1 is done. So I'm going to go number 2. So reload and then pick up white. And then number 2, I think I have to number 2. Number 2. Okay, so we'll be there, number 2. Then number 2. Okay. I'm going to dab a bit more so it doesn't give me streaky lines. So number 2 is one in the back. We should start from the back and then to the front. So this one here, number 2, just go on top of number 1. No need to wash your brush, but you can wipe your brush on the paper towel to get rid of leftover paint. Number 2, and then one more, number 2. Right here. Okay, and then one more. Do the stroke slowly. If your brush doesn't open at the beginning, just keep pushing on the parchment until the hair open. If it doesn't open, mean that you didn't have enough paint. So replenishing the paint. Bring out a little bit at a time. And then the number 3, oops, I should have done number 2 here. Oh, I've done already. Okay, number 3, then I will pick up more white. Then that. If I think not enough, we can pick up again. And then this stroke is just a teardrop in the center here. Maybe a bit more white. Okay, hold the brush vertically. Wait until the brush open. And then drag with the tip. And then finish. Okay. So that's already one flower. So I'm gonna do number 3 here. Maybe not enough paint, so I'm reloading. Best advice is to reload every stroke. Okay, and then number 3, I have it right. Oh, okay. Here, number 3, and then come to the calyx. So if I show you with the dark color in the back, you see the effect. Okay, so now if I'm going to show you these strokes right here, because this one doesn't have, so I'm going to show you this one. This one is, I'm using green. Try not to use so many colors to start with, because mixing colors or picking up too many colors at once is not easy. Best to get your strokes down first until you are, comfortable with the strokes, then start mixing the color. Okay, this one here, it's practically the same stroke like most of these, but then when you down the brush, you start with the tip and then draw the line before you push and then lift at the end. So when you drag at the beginning, you get pointed what you call pointed stroke. Okay, now when painting one stroke, okay, the color that you load last will be the color that come out first. So depends on where you want to paint from. If you want to paint from here into the stem, then you will load white last, because you're painting from highlight to shadow. Okay, but if you want to paint from here to here, then you paint from shadow to highlight, so the loading order is reversed. Well, make it simple. We're gonna paint from highlight to shadow, so load green first. Since this stroke is so tiny, you don't need a lot of paint there, and we don't need to open the brush so much, so we don't need that much paint. So I'm picking up the white and then dab. The reason of dabbing on the palette, so you can break the tension between the two colors, then you don't have blob of color to start with. Okay, I talk too much, probably dry. Let me reload again. Okay, so this one here, if practice first, okay? The stroke will be hold the brush vertically again, and then with the tip draw the line and then push down. And then if you don't want it too fat, then you just lift up at the end. So you get very tiny stroke. Okay, I'm reloading. I don't care if white mix into the green a little bit, you know, it just give you different green. So I'm drawing the line. Let me move it this way so you can see. Draw the line and then press down and then lift up. And then if I lost the green, I'm going to reload the green. If you didn't lose the green, you can always just pick up the white and then there, draw the line and then press down. I'm going to bring it all the way down. Okay, and reload, tip with the white. So you can see what I have painted. And then another one. There's always 3. Press down and then come up. Actually, I should have painted the middle one last. Let me do that. Okay, I can paint this one last. Wow, too much white. Oh, never mind. Okay. So wash and then reload the green. You don't have to come down to here. We can just, I'll show you this one that you can stop at the calyx and then we can draw the stem later. Okay, one on the side here. Push it and then come up. Oh, that's too short. I'll finish that one. Sorry. And then to the side. Okay, and then in the middle, just pull straight stroke. There, and then push down. You need to push down to stamp the green onto the parchment first and then drag using the tip to draw the line. Okay. So I hope you are getting this. Okay. Now we're going to try this one here. Okay, if I don't say so much, meaning I'm concentrating, because if I talk too much, the paint dry on the brush. But the order of painting is the same, meaning start with number 1 from the back, number one from the back, and then on the side. Okay, let me bring that up. Number 1 here, 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 and then in the back there. So I'm gonna start from the outside here first, around here, and then in the 3 in the back there. So it will look something like this. Yeah, like this. Or the number 1 are painted with no white, and then some of the petals there at the flower heart. Okay, loading. You can see I'm taking a lot of paint in, because these strokes are quite long and if big also. When you load the brush, there's one chance that you can paint, so you have to properly load the brush. Okay, bringing it down for sure. Okay, number 1 here. You will find yourself comfortable with one side of the stroke. It could be the left or could be the right. So hold the brush vertically and move it this way so you can see the hand. Okay, and then push it down, nearly the whole bristle down, and then take a turn and release the pressure and bring the stroke to the center. Okay, if you can't bring the stroke to the center, but you can stop somewhere, but best that you don't like stop your stroke like that right there, because every petal come from here, so you have to show that it comes toward this part, then your flower will not look awkward. Okay, and then I'm going to do this number 1, so I'm turning it sideways for myself, push it down, and then heading toward the center. Now I didn't go there, but it's leading there. If your stroke is not nice, you can always fix it. So simple. Okay, maybe this one I also want it, a bit. Okay, so reload again for number 1. I'm gonna put more tape down because it seems moving. Okay, and then number 1 on this side here. It's already on the side. And then swing it. Okay. And then number 1 here. Down the brush, push the whole bristle down so the end open. Then you can drag and then draw the line. Oh, wobbling. Okay. Okay, and then more number 1. Oops. I touched it, but then later can fix. Okay, down and then turn. Okay, and more number 1 here. Even you didn't follow the order that I have put down here, it's okay, because your petals will look different. I mean, the way they overlap one another. Whatever you paint last, on top of everything. So there's no right or wrong, really. So number 1 on the side are done. No, I'm going to do number 1 there. Okay, so that's what it looked like. Here, number 1, number 1, number 1. So I'm going to start in the middle there and then on the side. So you can just swing it down a little bit like that. Or you can just make shape, because it's really doesn't matter, because it will get covered by the next strokes. Okay, so that's how far. So if you master these strokes, though, you can paint tons of flowers. Okay, so that's number 1 all done. Now I'm going to number 2. Let me get the white out. Okay, so number 2, number 1, no white, number 2 little white. Okay, so we're gonna get that one, and then I find my white today is a bit what do you call too thick, but it's okay. So number 2 from here, and then bring it to the center. Okay, You need to have some dark color papers to review the result, because on white on white, you cannot see so much. Okay, and then I'm going to go number 2 here. So it's on top of that number 1. There you go. And then swing around. So that's number 2. And then reload with a little white. And then go to just look for number 2. I think it's number 2 here. Push it down and then release. What? Okay. I don't care. Petal can look broken. And then there go number 2. And then swing it into the center there. If your brush is dry, wash and then reload. I'm always in the aircon, so it dries very quickly. So over here we have like 30 over degree every day. You might be jealous of the warmth, but it's too much. Number 2 here. And swing over. Some strokes, you know, I mean, it can, what they call lost and found, meaning you don't have to finish the whole stroke. Let it be mysteriously disappear somewhere. Okay, number 2 still. Okay, number 2. Let me open it up. Cannot see. Number 2 done. So I'm gonna do number 2 in here. 1, 2. Yep. 1 is there, number 2. Press it down, make a curve, and then finish the stroke. Let me hear from you. Are you painting or you just watching? Oh, okay. Okay, now number 2 is here. Right here. There you go. Press and then release and bring the stroke toward the center. Yeah, this technique, I think, is fascinating because every stroke you make, it's give you different look, really. Even they're not perfect, but once you finish the whole thing, they look okay. Okay, so that's number 2 all finished. Then I'm going to go to number 3. 1, the 3 here, 3 here, and then 3 here. Make sure your brush have enough paint. To bring it over so no hiding. So I'm picking up more paint, more white. Maybe 2 times. Okay. And then the 3 is here. Push and then swing the stroke around. Oh, I still no time here. My tummy is crying. No chocolate. Okay. So number 3. And number 3 is here and then here. There you go. Swing the stroke. the curve that you make, you know, will make a difference. You just have to be able to curve the stroke nicely and have a finish, you know, very fine finish. There you go. I'm gonna run this one. Not, no. Okay. This thing happened simply because the stroke is too short for me to push the whole brush down. So that's why the extra come here. But I will not worry. Sometimes pushing too hard also not recommended. Just enough, you know. You find your way really when you practice. Okay, and then the last number three, one is here, very short stroke. Make sure to let it dry, you know, because we are using quite a bit thick paint. And then come down, and then that's it. We finish the flower. So you can see the dimension of it. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit, you know, if we want this to be a bit more complex. Okay, let me find the... But this one is not one stroke. This one is pencil. You see the petal has like the turning and then the flipping. You see that? Right here doesn't have it. Because, you know, that was like for beginner painting. But if you want more, you know, complex look of the petals, this is what we do. We put more comma stroke on top of the stroke that we made. That's it. So it's like, you know, only at the tip, and then come to maybe 1/3 of the whole petal, not, you know, coming down the whole way. You know, depends on how you want the petal to flip over. Okay, so again, just okay, very little red color, but more of the white. So I'm picking up more white to make it, you know, even, how to say, different, I hope. Okay, so maybe I try which one. Okay, I try this one here. So the stroke will be on this side here. Okay, you don't have to do this. I'm just showing you if you want more complex. There you go. It's already looking like it's turning, this petal. Maybe a few more. Maybe this one here. So on the top, on the tip, make a stroke and then finish about, maximum is halfway, but not more than that. So you can see the petal, it's a, how to say, a bit more complex with the turn. And then, okay. Okay, no, you know, you'll catch up real quick. No left behind. Okay, and then on this side here, it will appear on this side here. So make a comma stroke, tiny one. Oh, I make a mess, but it's okay. I just turn it a bit using cheating stroke. There you go. See, you can see the petals are more lively. And this one here you can do also, but not too much white, because they are on the bottom level. So tiny white. Okay. Keep picking up white as you go along. Maybe this one here also I want to do. You don't have to do all of them. Just a few here and there. Okay, this one too. Okay, so that's for the flower. Then when you come to the stem, we use the flat brush. You can use the round brush, but I use flat brush, and just turn at a bit of the angle like that, and then drag all the way down. Then you will get dark and then light in the same stroke. Okay, we're gonna use green and white. With the flat brush, you have two corners. So load one corner with the green and then another corner with the white, and then blend. Okay, and then just test first. When I was saying that if you tilt if I put the white on this side and then the black on this side, and then when you tilt a little bit on the side, you don't have to draw this big, but I'm showing you that you get highlight and shadow at the same time. Okay, so we're gonna do quite thin. You still get the same effect. Ooh, it's more than an hour now. I hope you're not in a rush. I'll finish with the leaf. Okay, so here, I'm just gonna go from there and then come down. And then on this side here, also come down. So there you go. Okay. Yeah, that things really make a difference. If you can make tiny comma stroke nicely, it really make the flower more complex and Okay, so for the leaf there, okay, I'll take this one quickly as it's an hour coming already. Cannot believe it. Okay, same loading, green on one side and then white on the other side, and then blend. Okay, the leaf, this leaf is just like 3 of these leaves. Okay, so we paint. When you paint on this one, we practice a little bit first. You put it there. You can either, if we're going to keep dark all around the leaf, so the dark is pointing outward. So you go at this angle. Okay, so you go up and down, always focusing on the center vein, and then finish the whole chisel on the lie flat on the center vein. Okay, over here, if you want it rounder, you just make it round. And then the other side, if you still want to keep dark on the outside, we have to reload because as you say, one stroke, use once and then reload. Okay, if you want dark on the same on the outside, so you keep it that way, dark outside, so you travel this way. Okay, so you go and then change the angle and then finish. So all the darks are outside now. For this one here, I think I keep all the dark outside. And the color, if you already mastered this one, then you can pick up some of the red and then some of the yellow, to make the leaf look more interesting. This one is just pure green and white, but this one have the flower color in it and also the yellow color in it. But we're just gonna do 2 simple colors. Okay, so after you have done that one, okay, I'm going to start here, dark or outside, slice to make a stem, and then come up, and then just take a turn there. Okay, so let me see. There you go, one side. Since it's small, I still have paint, so I'm carry on. Change the angle, and then I'm going to stop here, and then reload. Maybe I talk too much, huh? The time gone by so quickly. Maybe I should stop talking and then just demonstrate. Okay, and then this one here, still the dark outside. So I'm going to continue here. Whoops. Hold the brush vertically, also the same way. These strokes is also basic strokes of one strokes. If you get these strokes right, you can paint. You can paint the town. Okay, so with the dark again pointing outward to the edge of the leaf. Okay, the angle is like that when you move your brush. So always start flat on the center vein. You can start and stop anytime. Don't have to follow the pattern either. Make your own thing. Okay, and I think, let me try if I can go further. Yeah. Okay, so that's how it looks. And then one more on the other side. I don't think I have enough. So reload again. And then put the dark out. Then the angle of approach is like that. I'm using number 6, but if you have number 4, it will work too. Okay, and then with the round brush, I will not dare using the flat brush to make center vein. Center vein, it can be dark, it can be light. It's up to you. Since this one is light, so I'm using dark to cover whatever have I missed. And then draw the center vein. Only, I will not draw side vein. This will be too much. Voila, we are done. So, what do you think? I think I should have one more stem here. If not, it just look like coming from nowhere. Okay. Okay. That's it. What can I say? Easy. It's really, really simple, you know, if you find a way that that it's right for you. Because some people hold the brush, you know, like this, you know. So when you stand up, the brush is easy. So the approach is like should be, you know, the whole petal is sideways, so you can curve the stroke easily. But some people hold the brush this way, you see. So sometimes you even have to, like, you know, the whole thing is pointing downward. So it depends on how your hand works. Just find your angle. Don't forget to upload your photo into the group, then I can help you with that. Okay, bye.